I have a brand new Taylor 410 here. And this guitar has been built with arches in the top. The wood has been cured, dried through all kinds of special processes and equipment that we've developed over 30 years of business. This guitar has very subtle geometry to it. The top has got a slight rise in it. In other words, it's domed, it's a spherical shape. The back has the same thing. It's got a little sphere to it. It sits proud up here. You might think of a flat top guitar as having a flat top, but it doesn't. It's actually arched. And the subtleties of those arches are what give the guitar its integrity. This guitar is one that's really only 2 years old, and it was returned by a customer because they noticed a crack in it. In fact, there's a crack right in the top here. And if I turn it over, you can see that there's a crack in the back. But more than that, what the customer is probably unable to see because of the untrained eye, but what we see immediately is we see this, what once was an arched back is now literally a bowl. It's inside out. I'm going to put a straight edge on it here to where you can possibly begin to see. If I put this straight edge here, you're going to see that it hits on the edges, and there's actually gaps in the middle. I'll touch one of those right there. Okay. Now, if I went to the same spot on this guitar, you wouldn't see that condition. You would see it's totally, completely centered high, like a pitcher's mound. And this thing rocks back and forth. There's actually quite a bit of arch in this guitar. Okay? If I put a straight edge this way, we would find the exact same situation. It would roll from one end to the other, almost like you're rolling it on the surface of a basketball. If I were to come back and do the same inspection on this guitar, what you see is there's a gap at this end, but you can see I can't roll this because it's touching kind of in the middle, and then there's a big concave section right here in the lower bout, and this is essentially straight from here up to the block. This is glued to solid wood here, so that can't breathe in and out. If I turn this guitar over and we put a straight edge across the top, right across where this crack is, you're going to see again that the top has some inside-out curving to it. It's a little bit high in the center, all right? That's because there's string tension there, so that's pulling it. But notice on either side of the center, there's a gap again, okay? And that gap then ends up hitting on the sides. So if I just did one half of the top, you can see it's concave. These are all the signs of a guitar that's being overly dried. Once you begin to understand this, you can actually just hold your guitar like this and look across the surface, and you can see that your pitcher's mound, that nice dome that you really want to see, is gone. If you turn it over and you see the back has lost its mound, that's gone as well. The other telltale sign is that the fingerboard shrinks and the frets begin to feel sharp when you run your hands down the edge. This guitar has already had the frets filed once, so I can guarantee you that this customer is a two-time offender. In other words, the guitar's dried out enough to where the frets have gotten sharp, and he's taken it to a repair facility, or possibly even sent it back to Taylor Guitars and had the frets filed. And at that point, that was probably even rehumidified a little bit. Now that that's been taken care of, and the fretboard, even at its small dimension from being dry, the frets aren't hanging off the edge, it's gone all the way to the point of cracking.